Welcome to 7 Urban Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, into wellness, and into fitness. This week, a special week as we profile one of the best cross-country programs in this country in Division III. The spotlight on UWL, both men and women's cross-country with head coach Derek Stanley. Been on the show many, many times, along with Eagle student athletes Ethan Thompson and Maddie Sweeney. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As we tape the show here on September 22nd, late breaking news. You didn't know I knew this, Coach, but just released. Women ranked #1 in the North Region, 12th in the country. And men 3rd in the North Region and 7th in the country. Maybe you don't even know that yet, but that's what David Johnson, your SID, sent me 2 hours ago. What do you think of that?
Pretty awesome.
I believe that we are appropriately ranked right now. I don't think that will be representative of what will happen at the end of the year, but it's probably pretty accurate right now.
And I just perused the other teams just quickly, and I see this team that's about 2.5 hours away called Wartburg in Waverly, Iowa. That I referee there, by the way, and I'm very familiar with their programs and their community and so on. They are right there in the same cluster of teams.
Yep. Yeah, Wartburg has definitely come on as of the past 5 years as a team to be reckoned with in the country. They have great leadership by Marcus Newsom, who's a longtime coach there. Their distance coach does a great job as well. They have a culture very similar to ours. They are built and driven to be successful and excellent. And it's showing up for them, and it's good to see. It's good to see that being so close to home, so that we can experience competing against them from time to time.
I know this is not a show about Wartburg, but I got to say this quickly. Again, I traveled there, and you look at their wrestling program, their football program, their men's and women's basketball, and now we're talking about track and cross country. They have made incredible improvements throughout their athletic program.
Yeah, they're doing something right.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Well, 10th season as head coach, both men and women, and you've won like 35 WIAC championships, national championships. You were coach of the year several times. Now, since you came to lacrosse, and it's a gift that you came, we all know that, assess the progress of the program in terms of what you expected and what you've achieved.
I think the expectation at UW Lacrosse is that you always are, in the mix for trophies at the national championship, always in the mix for a conference championship. We've achieved those for the most part on both sides. There's still some work to be done there. I still have goals for our programs in both of those areas. But one of the things I think is the most unique about what we're experiencing now is the culture that we have within the program. COVID shined a light on a lot of areas of our program that we felt like we could have improved on, and so we kind of took a culture pivot, so to speak, and the people that wanted to be a part of that vision moving forward have remained in the program, and I couldn't be happier with who we have as part of our program moving forward. I feel very strongly, the coaching staff and I feel very strongly that we have the people that we want in the program, that we need in the program to get the job done at the highest level that we can.
And 2 of those special athletes happen to be sitting between the 2 of us.
100%.
Ethan Thompson, when I read your resume, well, first of all, a senior cross-country track and field from a place I'm very familiar with, Wanakee. Could have went a lot of different places, and we're going to talk about you and your profile and your life and your journey. But let's just react to what Coach said about culture. A lot of viewers don't really understand, perhaps, the special culture that I see as a former student athlete there myself and a broadcaster. But is that one of the things that attracted you, Ethan?
Yeah, the team has been really responsive to the freshmen coming in, and both the men's and women's teams get along very well together. And it's all about communicating within the team, but also with coaches and just strengthening our bonds between.
You know, with Maddie Sweeney, just looking at your resume too, your profile, I mean, it's a pleasure for me to be the host of the show because I get to meet people like Maddie and Ethan and get to know Coach. But fifth-year senior, Dean's List 5 semesters, like all conference, indoor track and field champ in the 5K. You just accomplished perhaps more than what you even dreamed of. But culture, big part of why you're here, isn't it? Did you have an opportunity to go other places too?
I would say I really knew early on that lacrosse was where I wanted to go to school. Our high school coach, we had several women from Green Bay East on our team, and she really loved this city and promoted the team. And just with the great academics that lacrosse offers, I kind of knew early on that this was where I wanted to end up, and I'm so happy with how it's gone this far.
Well, academics, we're going to talk a little bit about that, but let's go back, let's pivot and go back to your high school days. I read your resume on your high school days, 4 letters, starting when you were a freshman, captain, which obviously means you were a leader way back then, conference champs, and you set the school record in a 3,200 meter relay, 8th in a class of 250. I don't think I was quite that high, but we won't go into that. And highest honor roll. So, student athlete in Green Bay at Green Bay East, student athlete at UWL, student first, athlete second.
Yeah, I mean, Division III, it definitely promotes that idea of academics, and yes, running is a huge part of my life, and I would say one of a very defining characteristic, but learning and just continuing mental development is something that also is so important, and that you can just take with you forever. So knowing that, yeah, lacrosse offers that, academics and using time management as well as a student athlete has really helped in both of those parts of my life.
Coach, things have changed since I was an athlete, since you were an athlete, and in terms of how you train an athlete, in the emphasis on nutrition, stretching, cross-training, not overtraining, and even just how you treat athletes. It's changed dramatically over the years for the good. Take us through a little bit of your expectations of your athletes in terms of, well, their academics, and then how they prepare in the season, off season.
Yeah, the academic piece is obviously critical. So trying to get them to understand that that's the reason that they're there, and making sure that they remember that along the way when they can get roped up into their season and how they're feeling and their fitness and all that stuff. As far as I think that when you talk about team culture, it is, what does an athlete feel on a daily basis when they're in your program? What are they feeling? You talked about things like foam rolling and stretching and all that stuff, like yoga and mental imagery. That's all a part of our program. So what we want people to feel is that they're prepared, you know? So the culture is built around, you know, not only training to the highest level, but being prepared, and so that nobody will be able to be more prepared than us or be able to outwork us on the cross-country course. So as far as like when you start to meld that all together, it's why it works so well together, Terry, is because like they're driven for their academic piece, and they want to work very hard at that, but they also are driven for the running piece, and they want to work very hard at that too. So it just molds together really well.
You know, maybe more than any other sport, and I might have some disagreement with some people that participate in other sports, but running is a year-round. Even, I mean, for me, a quasi runner in my advanced age, runners are unique, and we'll talk about that. But it is a commitment year-round, and I know that may not be a high expectation you have, Coach, but is what that's how you lead your life, isn't it, Ethan?
Yes, yeah. I mean, there's not really a time through the year that we have an off season. We have cross country, indoor track, outdoor track, and then even in the summer, that's when most of us are making increases in our mileage. So there's never a real time where I get to sit back and not go out for a run on a day-to-day basis, but that makes it all the merrier better. Like, the amount of time that every one of us has put in shows through the amount of time that we put into our races, really, and the effort we show.
Success is determined by those that go the extra mile. Maddie Sweeney, you have gone the extra mile in terms of your preparation, certainly academically, but you train year-round too, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, to be a runner, it's, like Ethan said, it's a lifestyle, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, obviously we're here because this is what we love to do. And I wake up in the morning and I'm so excited to be able to go to practice and be around people like Ethan and my other teammates who this is what they love to do also.
Interesting statement, because that's one of the reasons I compete, because I like to be around runners, the uniqueness of runners, the bond they have between not only teammates but runners that they don't even know from other teams or just in some of the races, and it's infectious. It's something that it's a big part of who I am also. So, well, we're going to take a break just for a minute. When we come back, more here on Seven Rivers Sports.
When you're faced with the decision of selecting a monument to honor someone dear to you, call Lewiston Monuments for a no-obligation consultation. Lewiston Monument is a full-service monument company, serving families in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin for over 4 generations. You'll find beautiful granite, marble, and bronze memorials, all at competitive prices. Their experts can help you design the perfect and unique memorial. Lewiston Monument. Call today or on the web at lewistonmonument.com.
You know, the thing I'm most proud of when I think about our company is the reputation that we've been able to build in this community. Our technicians have done a great job going out and performing magnificent jobs for the customer. And our customers have rewarded us with some really great reviews online.
We have over 150 5-star reviews online right now. Our technicians do a great job out there, and our reviews show it.
We can say without hesitation, when you choose Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. This week, the profile in the UWL cross country with head coach Stanley, Ethan Thompson, and Maddie Sweeney. Well, as we move into the second half of the show, there's so much to talk about. I don't know if we're going to get it, but you know, a lot of people struggle with the mental aspect of sports, and both of you referenced it in your profile. But they prepare physically, but mentally they self-destruct or they're not ready. You talked about imagery a little bit before, but that doesn't always define and redirect an athlete. Does it, Coach?
I mean, they're all helpful tools, you know, but basically I think that the athlete has to feel like somebody believes in them. And so when they feel that from their parents, and when they feel that from their teammates, and they feel that from their coaches, then you're providing them the opportunity to go out and get it, you know, in competition. So my whole coaching philosophy is making sure that our athletes know that they're cared for, you know, as not only as student athletes but as people in our program.
And that's one of the reasons why you're successful. Ethan Thompson, I just love this, and I love slogans, says, train the mind and the body will follow. I love that statement. It's kind of similar to one I use, which is, of the soul, the body form doth take. What you have inside of you in your heart and soul, the body will take that into competing or in everyday life. Where did you get that statement? It's provocative.
Yeah, I actually, oddly enough, found it on social media, on a trainer's Instagram page, but it's stuck with me ever since, and it's applicable to so many different things in the sports world and how you train and just how you live your life day in and day out as an athlete.
This is one of the, also an incredible thing that I read. and again, I'm more inspired than maybe our guests, but Philosophy of Life says, Maddie Sweeney, you are the author of your own life. I've heard that a few times, but this is the best part of it. Why would you not choose to be the hero of your own story? Are you the hero of your own story?
I really try to be. So that quote is actually from our very own assistant coach, Coach Petish, and I think it really just applies to all of the, ups and downs that people face, and the beauty of being your own author of your life story is that what you choose to do with those, negative experiences, and maybe take that to become a learning experience, is just a gift that you have.
And not only that, but only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: fear of failure. You ever failed?
Oh yeah, I feel like you can't have success without also having failures, and I think the biggest barriers that you come to face are the ones you give yourself, and so overcoming fears of maybe not performing to your best or having success in your life, you have to just learn how to slowly overcome that yourself.
We don't need to go into this, but I'll bet you that if I asked you, because I don't have time for all the questions I want to ask, like, are you hard on yourself? And the answer would be yes, because most athletes and some older athletes are hard on themselves, never really satisfied with their performance. But speaking of failures, I look at your profile, and I said off the air that you remind me of our youngest daughter, who was an elite runner. Injuries: IT band syndrome, fractured tibia, stress fractures, ankles. Like anything else?
Nope.
Oh,
hopefully that's the end of the list.
Oh, but what have you learned from those setbacks?
I think that you just have to be patient, and that times do get really tough, but that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and as long as you surround yourself with people that bring you positive influence, you can always keep going.
Iron sharpens iron.
Absolutely.
You and I are a reflection of who we associate with. You guys already know that, right? And that's why you're on a team, and that's why you have good coaches. This is kind of a rapid fire drill. You remember that from some of your experiences. We talked from Wanakee, Ethan. You were in track. You were most valuable player, honor roll. Now you're involved in student athlete advisory committee, physical therapy. How can we decide that that's what you wanted to focus on?
Ever since I got into running senior year was when I really decided that physical therapy was a field for me, and partially why I came to lacrosse, because of our physical therapy program.
Role models, parents, and brothers.
Yeah. My family is my everything, and the hard work that my parents have indirectly showed me throughout my lifetime is, I feel like it's coming through me, and I want the best for not only myself but the people that surround me.
I love this as a leader, and you are. Positivity, you're always positive. Every day is a good day. Now, not everybody would say that. Is every one of your days a good day? Have you ever had a bad day?
Yes, I've definitely had bad days, but the flip side of that is every day is a good day to be alive. And I think that every day that we're alive on this earth, and that you can inside yourself seek positivity, it's huge, and it's contagious too. That's why I value our coaches and my teammates, because we all want the same thing. We all want to be happy together and work hard together. So.
There's substance in that young man, you know that?
But if there's anybody that has the idea of every day is a great day, it's going to be Ethan Thompson.
Oh, those are the kind of guys I like to hang around. So, real quickly too, give me your thoughts as a quote to describe Ethan and then Maddie.
A quote to describe Ethan and Maddie. Man, I mean, I guess I could just say, not necessarily a quote that somebody else said, but I can speak to Ethan being like just somebody who an unexpected surprise, you know, like just the amount of, when he came in from high school, he was so inexperienced. He was, you know, we weren't sure if he was going to make it on the team and be able to, you know, make it all 4 years. And he's come in to be somebody who's worked hard and become part of the program, a big, huge part of the program.
Good quote.
And
how about Maddie?
Perseverance, for sure. I mean,
oh, good word.
Experiencing what she's endured over her running career and the amount of impact it's had on her, and seeing her come through that, the other side, it makes me warm in my heart because of the amount of that she's had to swim through, basically, just all the stuff that she's had to swim through.
Life lessons in itself, major biochemistry. And this is something I've never seen before, never read. I'm sure people, you're not the only one, but you want to go into a career as a nonprofit, deals with food insecurity. I mean, explain that, would you?
Yeah, so my major, my first 2 years of college were biochemistry, and then I actually switched to public health, which probably relates a little bit more to the career choice. I guess as I delved more into the major, I really got to do a lot of research through my professors, and then back home, just how big of an issue it is everywhere, and that's just something that I'm really passionate about. Also having minors in nutrition, and just want to work more towards that.
Maybe we could get you on the show just to talk about nutrition and food issues, because I know it's an issue. A lot of people don't see it that way, but the things I've read, I think it's certainly something that needs to be addressed. But you know, you talked about your role models, parents, and then 2 professional athletes.
Yeah, so my parents definitely, they've instilled, I think, my just hardworking ability, and just have always shown me to persevere, which is something that I have done quite a bit. And then, yeah, just 2 strong female athlete role models. I think women's distance running has really picked up in the past few years, and so I think all the upcoming runners have been really fortunate to have these females, strong female inspirations.
I love these quotes. I'm big into posters and quotes, and when I run a lot, and when I used to run a lot of races, and I still am hoping to, I love signs like the one in Green Bay when I ran the marathon a few years ago was like one of my favorites. If you can imagine, is holding a poster up. It says this: "In your mind, you're a Kenyan." One of my favorites, because then the rest of the race I was like Kenyan, and I finished better than. But I love this one too. Running is a bond between body and soul. How would you react to that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's absolutely true. There are so many things you can do physically, but I feel like your soul and your mind take you that last little extra bit towards achieving what you want.
To give anything but your best is to sacrifice your gift.
I would say that all the hard work you put into something is always going to amount to something, and it's just about how big of a goal that is, or how much you achieve.
Coaches are difference makers.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you can make an athlete feel good about themselves, or you can make an athlete feel bad about themselves, or you can just be there, you know, doing a job that is just something that you do. I think that the defining word of any coach is passion. And so as long as they see you're passionate and that you care, then you're going to make a difference.
Yeah, and you have made a difference on this show. And we appreciate you. Our guests, again, this week, Derek Stanley, Ethan Thompson, and Maddie Sweeney. Thanks for being on the show, guys. And we didn't get a chance to talk much about the rest of the season, but you are just getting into the season. You're on your way to Louisville pretty quick.
Yep. And
then back to Louisville to end the season in the NCAA championships. And so if you check the UWL website on those meets, and hopefully you can attend the one in West Salem on October 15th.
Can I send a shout out to one of your viewers?
You sure can.
We have a viewer who is very important to us in this program, and I think they would appreciate this. But John Hipschman, love you, buddy.
Yeah, well, you certainly can do that. So All right. Well, have a good rest of the season, and it's a pleasure to meet all three of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back with some closing thoughts along with a recent football game here on King. We'll be right back.
With our busy lives, it's a comfort to know that we can still remember loved ones in a traditional way with a monument. Lewiston Monuments in Lewiston, Minnesota has been helping families purchase a monument for over 4 generations. You'll find a large selection of beautiful granite, marble, and bronze monuments, all at competitive prices. And they're a full-service company, so they also do straightening, cleaning, and repair of monuments. Stop in or call for a no-obligation consultation, or visit lewistonmonument.com for more information.
You know, the thing I'm most proud of when I think about our company is the reputation that we've been able to build in this community. Our technicians have done a great job going out and performing magnificent jobs for the customer. And our customers have rewarded us with some really great reviews online.
We have over 150 5-star reviews online right now. Our technicians do a great job out there, and our reviews show it.
We can say without hesitation, when you choose Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll be glad you did.
Well, our broadcast team was in River Falls on Friday, a battle of the unbeatens of River Falls Wildcats hosting our West Salem Panthers. 7-7 at the end of one, with Cole Evold scoring from 14 yards out and Brett McConkey to Brennan Kennedy for a 67-yard connection. 2 TDs for River Falls in the second quarter. Cole Evold and quarterback Vito Massa to wide receiver Michael Sherman. 21-7 Wildcats at intermission. 20 unanswered points for River Falls in the second half. 1 TD by Cole Evold and 2 TD runs by Tyler Hayden. Quarterback Brett McConkey threw for 74 yards and a touchdown. Chris Calico and Samuel Schmidt led the Panther defense with 9 tackles each. River Falls stays unbeaten in the MVC with a 5-0 record and a big game at Onalaska on Friday. West Salem entertains Tolma on Friday, and we'll be there to bring you all of that action. So the final from River Falls, the Wildcats 42 and the West Salem Panthers 7. Well, Dan and I were at Roger Herring Field on Friday for a Coulee Conference game, the Aquinas Blue Golds hosting Viroqua. The Blue Golds scored early and often, with quarterback Jackson Flotmeyer throwing 3 TD passes in the first quarter, 1 to Quinn Muskowski and 2 to Colin Consemius. Kelvin Hargrove scored on a 38-yard run, 28-0 after 1. 14 more points in the second quarter. Paulie Reutemann and a Flotmeyer to Muskowski pass, 42-0 at the break. Only 1 Blue Gold TD in the second half, a 70-yard spectacular kick return by the speedy Colin Consemius. 2 TDs by Viroqua in the second half, both scored by Austin Winker. Jackson Flotmeyer, 236 yards and 4 TDs, while Kelvin Hargrove led the defense with 7 tackles. The undefeated Blue Golds are at Prescott on Friday and will be there. Our broadcast crew will bring you that action. Viroqua is at Black River Falls for a 7 p.m. kickoff. Final from Roger Herring Field, Aquinas 49 and Viroqua 16. Well, that's it this week here on 7 Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping that you will have an active and a healthy week ahead.